have to hide or something. That's my only option if I can't contact the police and I can't get out because they're surrounding the place.
Not barbecue sauce on my titties. Is someone outside?
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be eating Asian market food. So I have an assortment with me. So this is called ramyun. These are called mung bean balls. This is udon. My favorite kind. It's oriental. That's my phone. 1 second. But as I was saying, so this is kimchi, and for those of you who don't know, kimchi is actually fermented cabbage with things like fish oil or fish sauce. Sorry, cabbage, a lot of salt, and then over here I have some good old seaweed, which I put in here. And seaweed is really good in udon. For those of you who may not know, it's actually my probably favorite snack in the world. But behind it, holding it up, I actually have hot sauce, because it's going to need hot sauce, a lot of it probably. So in today's video, I thought I would talk about not only what's happening in my life, tell you the tea, tell you all the gossip, the goose, the juice, everything. And I actually want to talk to you about the fact that I've actually been having a lot of nightmares lately. And normally with me, I don't really have that many nightmares, but for some reason this past month I have. I think it's maybe because of October coming up or whatever. Oh, and by the way, yeah, this bowl is as big as it looks. Like, it's as big as my head. This is like 5 servings of udon, y'all. This stuff is so good, and I could eat it for the rest of my life. But as I was saying, I've been having a lot of nightmares lately, and I don't really know why. My theory, like I said, is October. But when I've had these nightmares, it's usually around the same time because I'll end up waking up because I'm so afraid. It's so good. So when I have these nightmares, I keep thinking that it's just like my subconscious leaking in or whatever, you know, like that whole theory of, well, like, if you wanted to psychoanalyze it, you could say that my personal life might be unstable, or like I'm fearing something, or having anxiety. That's not the case because I'm not really fearing anything except for grad school, which I'll do that in a separate video. But like, it's just been a lot of the same type of dream. When I have severe dreams, like really bad ones, it's always within my great grandma's house. Because growing up, that was where I went a lot. And I think like that place for me was just one where I felt kind of uneasy. I wouldn't say that it was like scary in that sense. It's just, you know, it's an older home. It's about, I'd say about at least 50 years old, something along those lines. But it was built by my great grandfather. And this house, I feel like there's like a trend of me talking about houses, but I'm just really briefly. This house is 2 stories and it has a basement outside. So it's for like shelter and things like that. When you walk into the house, it's the kitchen, which is really weird. The front door is the kitchen, but the front door that it used to be, like that had been built on the side of the house, was like when you walk into the living room, but that was blocked off because my grandma was like, oh, we're not doing this. So it was blocked off, and growing up, I always remember going over to her house and just being really uneasy and scared. Now, I think it's because, oh, kimchi. Another thing, if y'all haven't had kimchi, you gotta like spray so much Febreze after having this stuff, like opening it. You can't have it open for too long, honey. You also gotta like open the lid every now and then, because as it's fermenting, it's giving off is it oxygen? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Well, it's fermenting, it's creating air bubbles and whatnot. So you have to like release it every now and then. But when you have this stuff, you can't invite people over for like a week, honey. You gotta make sure this stuff is like I don't know, cleansed out of your home because she does not play games. So, one of the first dreams that I've had, it happened about a week ago. And I was in my great grandma's house again, like I said, because these basically where all these stories take place. I was in my great grandma's house, and for the life of me, I didn't know. For some reason, I just thought I was somewhere else. Like, I couldn't conceptualize, like, hey, you're in your great grandma's old house. So, I was in the house, and my grandma, not my great grandma, called the house, and I picked up the phone, and it was silent. You know, it was silent. It wasn't like dial tone or anything like that. And then I heard it like through the phone. It's almost like, you know, when metal hits each other, it's kind of like I don't know if you can hear that, but like just that. I was like, what is that? And then all of a sudden,
the line goes dead.
like nothing. There's no dial tone, there's no nothing. Oh, so this is called ramyun, and for those of you who don't know, it's Japanese. Originated in Japan, but these bottles are a little bit weird. So if you go to buy ramyun, make sure that so it'll come a little cap like this, and it's inside of it, and you're gonna have to like pop it out, and it looks like this, right? Okay, and so you're gonna take it, and there's a marble on the top of this, so it doesn't spill or anything. It's just stuck in place there, and there's this chamber right here in between where it will fall, and you have to place it on top and then press down to remove that marble out of place. So it takes a lot of energy. And it popped out. And now you can see that like this little thing is not necessary anymore, but if you look closely, little marbles in there. Right? That's so cool. But I got strawberry flavored. Anyway, so the line was dead, and what was running through my mind, even in like my dreams, I knew this, that in scary movies, when the line goes dead, it usually means someone cut the line, you know. So I'm sitting there.
Not barbecue sauce on my titties.
But I'm sitting there with my grandma, somewhere in the background. I don't know. My friend Caleb's calling me now.
Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
I'm filming a mukbang. Say hi to Caleb.
Hi.
Anyway, as we were discussing, so the line goes dead, and I'm still thinking that like someone cut the line in, and I'm like, who?
Is someone outside?
The line obviously is outside. So I start panicking, and then I decide, okay, the best thing I can do now is make sure all the windows are locked, all the doors are locked, everything's completely on lockdown. I go to lock the door. It's not the one that's sealed, it's the one that's in the kitchen. I go to lock the door.
And the phone rings.
So I go to the phone, and for some strange reason, I don't know if I was just on some sort of like influence or something, but
I didn't lock the front door.
I left it. So I go to answer the phone. So I go to not unlock the front door, but I go to the telephone and I answer it. And it's that same noise. Like when metal hits something, another piece of metal, like I said. I was like, this is creepy. This is creepy because I know that the line was dead, and someone had to have cut it, and they can't just piece it back together. Well, I was like, okay, so did they somehow like wire it back together, or like am I crazy? Maybe it's not that. I'm like, okay, whatever, but this is still creepy. Why am I getting the same phone call, like these pieces of metal touching each other? I decided to leave the phone. I put it down, so that metal noise was still going on. I go to the front door because I'm like, I have to secure the house.
And a man is standing there with a knife.
And he's taking the knife and he's rubbing it against the doorknob. So that's the metal sound that I was hearing. So I step back, and my grandma's somewhere in the background still. And he like just keeps doing it on the door, and no matter how, like, he doesn't step forward, he doesn't do anything. So I'm like, okay, if he's just standing there, maybe I can get closer to the door. I get closer to the door, and my grandma pulls me from behind and said,
It's him. He's back.
she said, it's him, he's back. I'm gonna try one of these mung bean balls. You guys, if you ever get the chance, try red bean mung bean balls. They're deep fried and covered in sesame seeds. And they're really good. Okay. So she pulls me from behind and says, it's him, he's back. And my dumb self, I would never do this otherwise, but I turned to face her when she was saying this to me. And when I did, I turned back around and he was gone. Now, my grandma, bless her, God rest her soul, because she's not around anymore. My great grandma, she was badass. She was boss. I'm sorry. She would not take anybody's business. She was that woman that if you made her mad, you better start running. And I had never seen her scared once in my life. So I don't know how I was able to conceptualize her fear in my dream, you know? Because, like, if you've never seen a behavior, if you've never seen something, how can you conceptualize it? Well, I think that's because growing up, I had always thought that my grandma was, like I had said, that type of role. But my family around her wasn't. And I think that I was able to make that connection somehow in my dream of, like, okay, if I can place my grandma's behavior onto my great grandma's behavior, or like her persona, then maybe I can create this character in my mind. But I was still like this.
My great grandma trying to contact me from like the beyond.
Because like I said in my last video, if I see spirits or if I see something scary, I don't stay around to play games. But me and my dreams is a different story. So, me and my dreams, I guess, decides that I should run towards the monster or something. So, I decide that it's a good idea to peek my head outside the door. When I do, I not only see him, but I see so many other figures standing around our house, like her house.
And they all have a knife.
And they're hitting it against something that's metal. And I'm not talking just like they're like standing like around the house, hitting two pieces of metal together, or like hitting the knife with a piece of metal. No, they're hitting their knife against the windows, the ceiling part that's metal. all of our windows, and none of them had phones. So I was like, how how did I hear that sound through the phone? And none of them have phones either. And why are there, obviously, like, I know, like, my brain, you're like, bitch, that's not the thing I'm worried about. I know, but it's still, when I look back on this dream, I'm like, I just want to make sense of it. So they're hitting their knives against the house. So I run back inside and I lock the door. Finally locked the door. And when I did, I turned around and looked at my grandma.
She was gone.
I wasn't that far away from the door to where she, like, could have come out when I was looking out, you know, like, come behind me and, like, was outside. And so I was like, okay, lock the door. Maybe she's, like, in the living room hiding or something. So I go in the living room, look, she's not there. Go in the bathroom, look, she's not there. Go in the laundry room, everywhere. I look, and she's not there. So she's not there. Look for her. Couldn't find her anywhere. So I go out to the living room from where her bedroom is. I go into the living room and I look. And the phone is on the hook. Because I had taken it off of the hook. So, like, it could just, like, I don't know. I thought that maybe it would occupy the person on the other line, thinking that I was still there in the living room and I wasn't trying to lock the door, you know? I was, like, trying to psych them out and be the cool hero, whatever. But no. So the phone is on the hook. And I'm completely confused at this point because there are people outside and they're trying to get in. So I'm like, I have to call the police. So I, like, go to pick up the phone. And I didn't dial it or anything, but it's the same metal noise. And I can't conceptualize it. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Because I look out the window and no men are outside hitting the windows with knives or anything, but I'm still hearing it on the phone. And I don't know why. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out, like, you know, like, how am I hearing this sound through the phone, but these men aren't outside because I'm looking through the windows and they're not there, but the sound is still there. And then where's my grandma? And then I can't call the police. What am I going to do? So I'm like, okay, stay calm. I have to hide or something. That's my only option. If I can't contact the police and I can't get out because they're surrounding the place, it's my only option. Unless I want to, like, you know, run straight through them and run as fast as I can, which I don't know if y'all know me. Some of you do. I can't run that fast.
My mile in high school was like 12 minutes each time.
But yeah, so I can't run that fast, and I was like, that's not gonna be an option for me. I swear, I will end up getting stolen or taken or something or murdered. Who knows? That was weird. I said that.
Murder?
So I decided to hide. You know, I don't know what made me think that I should hide in the attic, but I did. So I hide in my grandma's attic, and there's windows in her attic, by the way. Well, at least it was back then when I was a kid. And there's one facing the north and one facing the south, and then the other sides are just closets to store stuff in. So I was looking through the north window, and I wanted to look down to see if they were still there.
They weren't. Nothing was there.
But I was like, okay, maybe they're gone. Maybe I'm crazy. Okay, they're gone. They have to be. I turn around, look at the south, And for some reason, my grandma was standing there, my great grandma. And she said,
He's back.
"That's it. He's back." My grandma looked so afraid. And like I had said, she was never the type of person to be afraid of anything. But I walked up to her and I'm like, "Grandma, we need to do something. We need to hide. Do you have another phone that I can use? Do you have a cell phone?" Of course she didn't. She didn't have a cell phone. She didn't use a cell phone. So she didn't have a cell phone. And I was like, well, like I said, our only other option is to hide. And she didn't hide. She walked downstairs and I was yelling her name and she walked straight to the front door, walked right outside. I ran down after her. And when I ran down after her and I looked through the door, all of the men were gone. And it was just her standing in the field in front of the house, with a knife and a phone. And that's how my dream ended. I woke up. Just a little bit of hot sauce. Just a little bit. Give it some nice heat. So I'm starting colder. Maybe that helped. But yeah, that's how my dream ended. And I still don't know what it means, but it freaked me out. I still feel like somehow my grandma was like trying to tell me something, but when I keep thinking about it, I'm like, what the heck could she possibly be trying to tell me by what? It's him, he's back. What does that mean? You know, like I guess she was talking about whatever the guy outside, but I'm wondering if it's something deeper than that. You know, because you ever had a dream about a relative who's not around anymore, and they're telling you something in the dream, you feel like it's at you, you know? Like it's something, like a warning. But what could she be warning me about, you know? Leave in the comments below what you think she could be warning me about. Like, given what you know from the story, but I've never had a dream like that. Where it was just so like, it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all. Because other dreams,
Some dude tries to come kill me for no reason. Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, cool.
not cool. Very scary. But, you know, it had a plot line. It wasn't like things were all over the place. Things weren't making sense. There were phone calls with knives, and then at the end, it made it seem like my grandma was the villain, you know, this whole time, because I couldn't see them. I couldn't see them unless my grandma wasn't around, you know, because I had my back to her this entire time, prior to going out to the attic. And then when I saw her and I looked through the window when I was upstairs, you know, that I didn't see them. And then when I looked back at her, and I was like, okay. I don't know if like my dreams are trying to tell me something, or if she was like,
Watch back.
you know, I think what if it's the spirits from the previous video, from the previous story about me and or about Sarah Winchester, upset with me because I told them that the medium was off their rocker. Their bridge to this world, you know. Because if that's the case, I'm not playing with the spirits. No, ma'am. No, I'll never talk bad about them again. I won't say nothing. You can have the mediums, psychics, spirits, the whole place. Alright, you guys, that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment below what you think my dreams meant, because honestly, I'm still trying to conceptualize it. Like I said, I cannot think of one reason that I would have this dream. There's nothing unstable going on around my life. There's a little bit of stress because of like deciding if I want to go to grad school, but that's about it. Make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell so you know when I post a new video. And until next time, don't forget to be yourself and give them hell. And eat a lot of freaking ramen. But most importantly, eat a lot of udon.